Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the train station with Spin Diesel. I am your lead out man, T.S. Mitchell, aka Spin Diesel. And we also welcome you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sharp Iron Riders, as well as follow us on Instagram at Sharp Iron Riders. Please become a patron and help continue to support what we're doing in the community to help others. Well, on this particular day, December 20th, 2019, I am rolling with the Summit Cycles group out of Columbia, South Carolina. And on this road here, as we're joining the action, we're on a road called Hood, which is a 3 mile, 1% climb leaving from Blythewood up to Ridgeway. We started out with 7 people, including myself, and we end up dropping 5 as we're going on this climb. Now, at this point, we're in the last 3/4 of the mile. I just passed Melanie and camera 2, and I'm trying to bridge the gap to a gentleman by the name of Tom. And I state that because this was the first time I was riding with Tom in a group. I've ridden with the others throughout the year, but on this particular day when I joined the group, Tom was leading it. So it was nice to meet someone new, and let me tell you, it was also refreshing to have a new challenge. You see, most of 2019, I spent about 90% of my rides in a solo effort because I was training for an event for November of 2019 where I wanted to complete a 100-mile ride in 5 hours or less. And I did that. So when we got to this ride in December, I was still in good form. All right, so there's Tom again in camera 1. Melanie is behind me in camera 2. We're on a road here called Smallwood, and we're coming back toward the starting point in the northeast section of Columbia. So at this junction, we've been riding for about an hour to an hour 45 minutes, and the group has already separated. There were 7 of us, and at this point there's only 3. The others have fallen off. One ended up getting a double flat and having to get a ride home. So we're rolling down Smallwood. I'm leading, and there's a lot of headwind at this point, so I move over to the left, and I'm waiting for Melanie and Doug to come through, but that headwind was hitting them hard. And so what Tom does, he comes up from the back, and I guess he checks with Melanie to see how she's doing, and he ends up doing another pull. So I said, this guy's pretty strong. I said, he's pretty good. I like the way he rides. So I'm hanging back there with Doug. I'm checking out Doug. Doug wasn't speaking too much that day. So I'm just chilling out a little bit. But I'm still feeling good, so I come back up. Now, when we got to the end of Smallwood, we did stop and regroup. That's Tim right there, and behind me in camera 2 is Patrick. So we stopped, everybody regrouped, and then we got back on the road again. We're on this road called Hines. Now, Hines is a nice stretch of a road, but it does have a few potholes that you have to be mindful of. And when you're riding in a group, you definitely want to make sure that you can see the road ahead of them. The reason is because sometimes people, when they're riding, they sometimes forget to point out where the holes are, and you don't want to be behind someone and they go around the hole and you go directly into it. So what I like to do is I like to give myself room to see ahead. That's why sometimes, if you notice in the video, I do drop back and leave some space. And when I'm feeling good, or when you're feeling in form, and you know your form may be a little bit stronger than some of the people you're riding with, you know, it's understandable for you to drop back and then pick up your pace and catch up with the group. That way you don't discourage anyone else in the group, and you don't interrupt the flow of the group. All right, so from time to time, I will come up to the front, then drop back, and it's almost like a rubber band effect. That way, I still get my workout in, and the group stays at a steady pace. All right. So now we're still on Hines, but Hines just bent to the right. We're maybe about, I would say, about 5 miles from the starting point. So we're headed back to the YMCA. So we turn right off of Hines onto, I believe this is Langford, and now we're turning left onto Mickle Road. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this is where the fun begins. Now, I know I've been having fun. Every time Tom would attack, I would jump on his wheel. Every time he would get in the headwind, I would get up there with him. It was fun being able to experience a new challenge with someone new. Okay, but here I say this: Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book many years ago called The Tipping Point. And in The Tipping Point, it describes that when you get there, it's going to either make you or break you. So when we came here on Mickle, now Mickle is a 2.1 mile stretch, and the last zero point 0.1 mile will be a 4% climb that has some sections of 8, 9, and 10%. So it's a 4% average, but has 8, 9, and 10 in there, like little bumps that are really challenging. So when we came around that corner off of Langford onto Mickle, I noticed Tom had looked back. And then from there, he got into his drops. And then something said to me, all right, something's about to happen. So I'm watching Tom. I'm not looking back because the road is ahead of me. And I've been watching his rhythm. I've been watching how smooth he is. I said, he must have been a racer or something in the past. So I just stayed on his wheel. That's it. I just stayed on his wheel. And as you see, and especially when you're watching the rear-facing camera 2, you're going to see as Tom picks up the pace and I'm matching his pace, staying on that wheel. Look what's happening in camera 2. For whatever reason, the rest of the group couldn't keep up. Now all I was doing was just having some fun, because we were rolling. I don't know how fast we were going because at that time I was using my phone with a Wahoo app as my bike computer. And the day before I was doing some indoor training and I forgot to switch it from indoor to outdoor. So, but I do know this, just by the rhythm, I know we were pushing over, at least I was pushing over 100 RPMs on my cadence. And we were coming down this road, this Mickle Road here, and let me tell you, all I could say to myself was, man, I can do this all day long. This reminded me so much of the days I used to be in Brooklyn, New York at Floyd Bennett Field. Now, Floyd Bennett Field wasn't the smoothest road, all right, but it had a lot of wind, headwind, crosswinds. And this is the same thing we were experiencing on this day. Now, we just flew past that UPS truck. As we was approaching it, I was looking in the window to see if the driver was behind the wheel. And when I saw that the driver was not there, we just kept hammering it. And you see Tom pushing. I'm right there with him. So even when he comes over a little bit, there was no need to panic, because you hold your line, you keep steady, and you just push through it. Now, there are potholes on this road. That's why I made sure I wasn't half-wheeling him, giving him room to maneuver, and giving myself room to see the road ahead of me. So while we're rolling down here, I know Tom knew I was there because my headlight was flashing, illuminating the road and reflecting off of the signs as we were passing it. So I'm watching Tom. I'm watching. And he got that rhythm, he got that cadence, and we've already dropped everybody behind us. So all I had to be concerned about was staying on his wheel and conquering that climb that's coming up. So we're rolling. And I'm watching him every time he accelerated. I'm right there with him, just accelerating too. Man, I was having a good time. And now all of a sudden, look up ahead. You see the elevation coming. It's coming. So now we're getting ready. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I had to stop the video. Something happened. It wasn't pretty. It had to be addressed. To see part two of the bonus video and how I handled the situation, click like and subscribe and comment. Show me.